We are getting some massive edges today in college basketball. And like you would think by now with each Saturday where we are getting those big edges, I'd be used to it. But man, it is kind of crazy that it keeps happening. It's kind of weird as to why it's happening. You know, they had the same thing there. So in terms of scoring, but looking at right now, the PrizePicks line is going to be set at 35.5. That is a massive prop line difference. And if we look at the average sportsbook line, how they have been projected to get 38.5. We look at the projection data, 37. So that tells me right there that this middle should be a good bet. Now, I do want to call it that when we look at PrizePicks, this is going to be the best bet that we are getting on today's slate. We go ahead and flip this over. I'll show you guys it on Underdog. Definitely not as good of a bet. So if you guys are someone that maybe doesn't like to try middling, that is fine. I get it. This would be a good bet, though, I think, to bet the under on Underdog, bet the over on PrizePicks. But we are going to get some massive edges today. We are getting massive edges today. So let's jump back into PrizePicks because I know a majority of the crowd is probably coming here for PrizePicks picks. But man, continuing on here, guys, you got Allen Flanagan, and we're going to see here. This is what I like to see for, you know, a fantasy score prop bet. We're going to see that the PrizePicks line is probably over by probably 2, really. If you look at the average sportsbook line, has it at 25.3. Look at the projection data, has it at 26. I would argue the Underdog line is going to be a little bit too high as well, but in comparison, the PrizePicks line is a pretty big edge there. So already I placed these two bets together. I think those are two good bets. If this EV bet is still there for Tristan Newton, by all means, go for it, guys. This is one that I have already bet as well for the under. I'm a little bit surprised that it's still there. We have another EV bet here for you guys where we're betting the under for Reed Shepherd points and assists. Again, I'm kind of surprised that those are still there. Another EV bet that I've already made today. It's college basketball Saturday. I think this is just like a slate that I am going to attack a bunch. This was another one that I had already ran out as well. But let's get back into some more of those fantasy score prop bets because it's kind of crazy. David Jones is another one. Like, this should not be happening. It is off by 3. And this does seem like a potential middling opportunity as well. I do want to call it the average sportsbook line would have him projected to get 35. There's kind of a big discrepancy here. The projection data is favoring it more at 40. Now, I do want to call it that at, you know, about 35 for a fantasy score. The average sportsbook line does like the over there at about 51.5%. So I don't know, maybe that's why I don't know. This is a high line. Let's just put it that way. 39.5 is clearly an outlier here in the data. When we compare the data, we're going to see that another potential middling opportunity, but we're going to see PrizePicks is the one that's probably wrong. Now, the projection data has it set at 27.5. The PrizePicks line is set at 27.5. We look at the Underdog line, 29.5, and we look at the average sportsbook line, 29.6. So it's kind of a weird message that we're getting with those lines, but I do see an edge there in betting the over on PrizePicks. So it's pretty good so far. Here's another one where, you know, in comparison, we're going to see that this is going to be a very good bet on Underdog to bet the under for Jesse Edwards because on PrizePicks right now it's at 32 and the data is already favoring the under there. So that's going to be another good one. But yeah, it's crazy the big edges that we are getting on today's slate. And I just want to sort by prop line difference, see if we're getting any better middling opportunities. And so I do want to call out these ones because typically speaking, Underdog is going to be more aggressive with their lines. We just see that consistently. Unless to bet the under, especially compared to Underdog's line, that does stand out to me again because Underdog is typically more aggressive. Now 2.95, I already touched on David Jones. That's a big prop line difference right there. We flip this around, these are crazy prop line differences as well. That's massive, and I would imagine the Underdog employee that's watching these videos is going to bump that down pretty much after this video. But yeah, that's a massive edge there. This is essentially a taco right here, or a discount square on both sites really, but it appears to be more so on PrizePicks. You know, if it doesn't hit, oh well, but 55% likely to hit. I mean, that's pretty crazy right there, guys. So real quickly, I do want to jump into some PrizePicks props. We are seeing some strange lines, I would say, for golf. And I mentioned this on the 9 to 5 Golf YouTube channel. And just a reminder, guys, go ahead and give this a subscribe, follow this channel as well, because it is definitely golf focused here, but I am touching on props whenever the props are made available after the rounds. And so right now it does seem like it's going to be a pretty awesome day in terms of the props I was able to call out. And the reason I'm not exactly able to do that on this channel is because there's just a clear difference in terms of people that watch the golf content and people that watch this content for the most part. Like if I came out with just a golf specific video on this channel, it just wouldn't do well. It would hurt the channel much more than help. But we are seeing some pretty big differences here. Now I want to call out the reason why these lines are so low is because it's projected to be windy, and it's windy there right now, but as the day progresses it's going to get worse. So that's why we are seeing some low lines. But Brian Harman at 2.5 birdies does seem to be massively too low. It seems like PrizePicks and Underdog are both kind of valuing the gusts that are out there, like wind gusts, and so that, I don't know, that seems like a massive edge right now. A lot of golfers are making a bunch of birdies, so seems like a big edge there. I just want to call that out. And like if we sort by prop line differences as well, guys, or I'll show you guys the prop line differences, it has since balanced out a little bit strokes wise, and PrizePicks was a little bit too high with a lot of their strokes, but we are still seeing some kind of stroke prop line differences there. So definitely something interesting there, I would say. And then just jumping into Underdog specifically for college basketball today, you know, we're getting those same edges that it seemed like we were getting in comparison to PrizePicks, but we are getting more than that as well. So by all means, these are going to be good bets as well. I'll say that the prop line differences, not as much favoring Underdog today as it typically is. So I'm definitely going to be running out, you know, these first 5, maybe this one as well, just with the prop line difference. So like the Underdog slip is probably just going to be, and maybe not this one since the projection data kind of likes the over. So yeah, I think I'm just going to run out these 5 for the Underdog bet of the day for college basketball. And then real quickly, I'll show you guys the lines that we are getting for NBA as well. Now NBA, we are getting a few good EV bets as it sits right now. You know, by all means, if these are still there again, like run those out. Olynyk over assist, feel pretty good about that one. Actually, that one should be one of the better ones on the day if that's still there. If it gets bumped, obviously stay away from that. So just showing you guys that for your guys' purposes. Again, if those are available, by all means roll with it. It's just tough to give you guys NBA ones midday at the start of the day because there's a lot of injury news that happens specifically for PrizePicks and Underdog. Yeah, and for Underdog, we're really not getting that many edges. So let's go and get into the bet of the days for you guys. All right, so my strategy for the PrizePicks college basketball props is I'm literally just going to be doing this, I think, with these props where I'm just kind of using them all together, using all the combinations together with that, just assuming that, you know, at least half of these should hit. Like on paper, these are really good edges that we are getting, and it does seem to be the edge that we are getting today is on PrizePicks. Now, you guys have seen that with college basketball, it can kind of be a little bit weird in terms of figuring out where the edge is at, I guess. It's kind of a weird way to describe it. What I'm saying is that on Underdog, if you guys have been following that, and I'll show you guys the Underdog slip here. And so what I mean is that these Underdog slips have been going 4 for 5 over the past like 10 times I've given them out, which has been kind of annoying, but the insured slips have been in, which is nice. But so like 7 out of the past 10 times, 4 out of 5. 2 of the times in between that though, 0 for 5. And that's kind of just how college basketball goes because it is tougher to project. We see a lot of discrepancies between the sports books, and that's why the Jamal Sheed one does make sense as a middling opportunity. So it does seem to be that the best edge that we have today is on PrizePicks, but we typically see that it's typically the sports books are better or Underdog or PrizePicks are better. It's typically never both are bad, both are good, if that makes sense. But those are going to be the best of the day. If you guys want access to the 9to5 cheat sheet, head on over there. All the tools available at 9to5sports.com are available for just $10 a month. Give it a like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.